Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com.
What's up, you guys? It's Susan Morad right back here on Clevver News. And following the controversy surrounding Donald Trump's advisor, Rudy Giuliani, in the Borat sequel, breakout star Maria Bakalova is now speaking out about her experience during that disturbing viral scene. Not only did the Borat subsequent movie film, aka Borat 2, make headlines after Sacha Baron Cohen made his return as Borat after 14 years, but one scene from the sequel in particular caused a stir among viewers when tuning into a certain part of the movie. It was the interview involving former New York City Mayor and Trump advisor and lawyer Rudy Giuliani. The inappropriate scene occurred when Rudy was being interviewed alone in a hotel room by actress Maria Bakalova, who plays Borat's 15-year-old daughter, Tuta, when Rudy appears to put his hands inside his pants just before Borat barges into the room. Tuta suggests that the two go into the bedroom to have a glass of whiskey, and as she was helping him take off his mic pack, viewers were floored to hear that he agreed to taking off his jacket just before inserting his hands down his pants in front of her.
Should we slip your jacket?
Put down your crumb. She's 15. She's too old for you.
This scene was done in one take, which is impressive considering not one person broke character in what appeared to be a very scary situation for Maria, and B, an attempt to blackmail Rudy. Many were quick to interpret the scene however they chose to see it, which, according to Maria, was exactly the goal. She sat down with the New York Times after fans had been eager to hear her side of the story, to which she said, quote, "Sacha jumped into the room quickly because he's been worried about me. So if he were late, I don't know how things were going to go, but he came just in time." After being pressed by the Times for how she interpreted the scene, having been the only other person in the room, Maria redirected the question, asking, "What do you think he was doing? I saw everything that you saw. If you saw the movie, that's our message. We want everybody to see the movie and judge for themselves." Although Maria admitted to being familiar with Rudy prior to filming the scene because, quote, 9/11 is something everybody should know, she admitted that the familiarity didn't make her any more comfortable, adding, "I was nervous, my heart was racing, but Sacha was like, you should be nervous in this situation, so use your nerves, convert them and accept them, and they're going to help you through everything." Just as the scene went viral following Borat 2's premiere, Rudy attempted to slam claims that he was stopped before doing anything worse. He took to social media in a series of tweets writing, "The Borat video is a complete fabrication. I was tucking my shirt after taking off the recording equipment. At no time before, during, or after the interview was I ever inappropriate. If Sacha Baron Cohen implies otherwise, he is a stone-cold liar." Rudy went on to explain that even the New York Post reported that it looked like an exaggeration through editing, and that he feels that this was all just a ploy in order to stop his relentless exposure of the criminality and depravity of Joe Biden and his entire family. Rudy also mentioned that he called the police at the end of the scene, which Maria admitted to being scared that something would happen, but fortunately they escaped before officials arrived at the scene. During her interview with the New York Times, Maria also praised Sacha, aka her non-biological father, for making her feel safe at all times while filming. She said, quote, "We'd been talking a lot about different scenarios. How should I act? This way or this way? What should I do? What is smarter? But in all of the scenarios, I was confident that Sacha will save me and he will save the scene. So it's not going to be a disaster. He's my guardian angel." But all while Rudy continues to be criticized for the prank, when asked if Maria has any regrets about partaking in the scene, she couldn't seem to care less about his reputation, adding, "Movies like this are showing people's true colors. It's going to show Rudy's real character. You're responsible for your own decisions. So no, I don't feel bad." And to see what other celebrities like Demi Lovato had to say about this controversial scene, click right over here for another Clevver video. Then be sure to let me know all of your thoughts on this scene involving Rudy in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on Instagram at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Emil, and it's Junior back here with Clevver News.
And Cassie David is opening up about the real story behind her breakup from Pete Davidson and how he ended up in a relationship with Ariana Grande just 2 days after their split. So Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande started their whirlwind romance in May of 2018 and got engaged just a few weeks later. But just before all of that, Pete was in a 2.5-year relationship with actor and comedian Larry David's daughter, Cassie David. Now, when the two broke up and Pete quickly started dating Ariana, Cassie made headlines for her funny Instagram posts and captions amid all of their relationship news. Like this pic that she captioned, "Been in Africa, what did I miss?" But now, Cassie is getting real about the emotional turmoil that she privately went through during Pete and Ariana's highly publicized, short-lived romance right after her and Pete's breakup. Cassie has a book of essays coming out next week titled "No One Asked for This," and one of the essays in the book is about her relationship and split with Pete. In her book, she talks about everything from being Larry David's daughter to her long list of bizarre fears to how she got into writing. And ahead of her book coming out, Cassie spoke to the LA Times about the project and revealed that she's most nervous for people to read the essay about Pete. Cassie revealed how their relationship ended, saying she, quote, "struggled to convince him that she really loved him, and she was fearful of ending things because previously self-harm and suicide threats had come about from trivial circumstances." According to the LA Times, Cassie explained that she eventually decided to initiate a break from Pete, but she called him back a couple of days later to say she had made a mistake. At that point, Pete said he was, quote, "the happiest he had ever been," and went on to dump Cassie 2 days later in a text message. The following day, Cassie found out that Pete was dating Ariana. Cassie said that she was initially in a very bad place after hearing this news and spent an entire flight with her dad, quote, shaking uncontrollably in his arms when they were on the way to her sister's graduation. According to the outlet, her dad Larry turned to her and said, quote, "Cassie, come on, your ancestors survived the Holocaust." But the post on social media only made Cassie spiral more. She recalled nasty comments on her Instagram page saying Pete had upgraded from Walmart to Chanel. Cassie told the LA Times that she, quote, "struggled to stop the footage playing in her mind of Pete and Ariana immediately falling in love, accompanied by audio of Ariana's baby voice whispering sweet nothings in his ear, dubbed over his past declarations of love and trust to me." Cassie also explained why it was both cathartic and anxiety-producing writing about the emotional distress that Pete caused her after moving on so quickly. She said, quote, "it was a really pivotal moment in my life, and writing about it has caused me a ton of anxiety, especially because I talk so much about hating the attention it brought me. Why would I bring more attention to myself by writing about it? But there's nothing that's gonna be worse than what I already experienced with that." We all know that Pete and Ariana's relationship only lasted 5 months, and in her essay, Cassie reveals that she and Pete are actually friends again. She told the LA Times that she's already shown him the essay about their relationship, and she thanks him in the acknowledgments of her book. The acknowledgement says, quote, "Pete, I love you. Your bravery inspires me, and your friendship means the world to me." And it's very clear that Ariana has moved on from her time with Pete, as she's now happily in love with her new boyfriend, Dalton Gomez. Cassie's publisher and editor told the LA Times that the chapter about Pete is one of the standouts in the book, and it, quote, "allowed her to take back some of the power over a narrative she couldn't control." And her dad, Larry David, said, quote, "she's already a better writer than me." This book of essays seems like it's just the beginning of Cassie's successful writing career, and she's also currently working on the script for HBO Max, and she's also written and starred in web series over the years. The future is bright for Cassie, and we're just glad that she, Pete, and Ariana are all in a better place now than they were after everything went down in 2018. But if you want more on Ariana Grande and her new boyfriend, click right over here for another Clevver video, and then let us know your thoughts on the tea that Cassie spills in her new book, and if you're gonna get a copy down in the comment section below. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clevver News. Bye. Bonjour, y'all. I'm not sure if I said that right because I took Spanish in high school, but what's up, y'all? I'm Emil Ennis Jr. back here with Clevver News, and despite heavy backlash from critics, Netflix's romantic comedy series Emily in Paris has officially been renewed for a second season. Now, if you're still unsure whether you should be proud or embarrassed about binge watching Netflix's new series in a matter of 24 hours, it doesn't even matter because you'll soon be able to indulge once again in Emily Cooper's wildest Parisian adventures. Now, we're unsure if Emily will actually learn some French words come year 2 as a Paris resident, but lo and behold, the Netflix series has officially been renewed for a second season. The news comes less than 2 months after the show launched, and based on the response from viewers, it's definitely one of those shows you either loved so much or loved to hate it even more. It also made headlines after drawing quite a large amount of backlash from French critics for its cultural ignorance and the false and sometimes even crude stereotypes of Parisian residents. French outlet Premiere shared a review by Charles Martin, who wrote, quote, In Emily in Paris, we learned that the French are all bad. Yes, yes. That they are lazy and never arrive at the office before the end of the morning. That they are flirtatious and not really attached to the concept of loyalty. That they are sexist and backward. And of course, that they have a questionable relationship with showering. Yes, no cliche is spared, not even the weakest. I won't even bother reading off the other reviews, but let's just say this gives you a pretty exquisite taste of what critics around the globe concluded. Now, despite the backlash, viewers clearly had different feelings on the matter, as Emily in Paris would go on to make Nielsen's top 10 list of most watched streaming shows for the week after its premiere. And to further put into context just how prestigious the list is, you should know that it placed higher than both Grey's Anatomy and Criminal Minds for that particular week. Yeah, enough said. The show's creator Darren Star, who is also credited with creating both Sex and the City and Younger, is already talking about season 2's plotline. He recently opened up to OprahMag.com saying, quote, "In season 2, Emily's going to be more of a part of the fabric of the world she's living in. She'll be more of a resident of the city. She'll have her feet on the ground a little more. She's making a life there." As for Lily Collins' return, she also gushed to Vanity Fair saying, "I would love nothing more than to be able to go back to Paris and do a new season." And considering Lily tweeted her excitement about the news this morning, we're gonna go ahead and assume that she'll definitely be a part of the second go around. But if there was one thing that Lily Collins hopes Emily takes more advantage of in season 2, aside from the wide selection of beautiful French men, she told Vanity Fair she hopes to expand Emily's international travels. That is, should it be safe too. She said, quote, "There were many experiences where we were like, does Emily go abroad? Do you think Emily takes the Eurostar and hops out and goes to Belgium, or she goes to London? That would be so much fun." I'm like, Darren, there are so many opportunities to just travel internationally when you're here. It's safe to assume that there is plenty to work with come season 2, especially the cliffhanger that left Emily and Gabriel's fate up in the air, and fans seem to be totally here for it. In a recent interview with Cosmo, Lucas Bravo, who plays Gabriel, hinted that there could be even more to uncover with the Gabriel, Camille, Emily love triangle. He said, "We planted a few seeds about different characters, like Camille when she kisses Emily on the mouth and she's like, 'I'm not sorry,' and then when they're in bed and I'm liking the picture, it's all little seeds. Anything could happen among the three of them. I think Darren wants this second season to be really open-minded." Now, despite some backlash received, one user pointed out, quote, "I'm here for it. People are so harsh towards this show, yet they don't remember that the first Sex and the City season was tacky as well. The show has a lot of potential." Another fan posed this theory that, of course Emily in Paris is getting a second season because we all couldn't stop talking about it. Doesn't matter whether we actually like the show, any publicity is good publicity. And this person shared this deeply honest tweet that read, "Emily in Paris is one of the worst shows I've ever watched, and yes, I will watch the second season." Now, production for the second season has yet to begin, as it is currently dependent on filming rules in France, as well as travel restrictions for the show's American cast due to the pandemic, but should more details be available, we will do our best to keep you updated. Now, to see which TV shows have been affected by the ongoing pandemic, click to the right to watch another Clevver video, then be sure to let me know all your thoughts on the news about Emily in Paris down here in the comment section below. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clevver News. Bye, guys.
Hey you guys, it's Susan Morad right back here on Clevver News. And this week there's been multiple new developments in Britney Spears' ongoing conservatorship case. So let's just dive straight in because there's a lot to unpack here. Alright, so those of you who have been keeping up with Britney Spears in recent years know that she's in the midst of an ongoing legal battle over her conservatorship. In case you aren't familiar with what a conservatorship is, it's typically used to protect the elderly, the mentally disabled, or the extremely ill. In 2008, when Britney's conservatorship was put in place after her public breakdown, it was meant to be temporary. But because it's still ongoing, fans have been voicing their concern for Britney and questioning who is really benefiting from it. The details of Britney's conservatorship are not 100% clear, but fans know that her dad, Jamie Spears, has been in charge of her assets, money, decisions, and even visitors for the past 12 years. Originally, it wasn't just Britney's dad who was in charge of her conservatorship, but last year, Jamie became sole conservator after their attorney Andrew Wallet resigned from his co-conservatorship. All of this has led to both fans and celebrities rallying behind Britney with the Free Britney movement, demanding that she get full control of her life back. We did an entire video explaining the Free Britney movement, which we've linked above if you want more info on that. Throughout 2020, there have been many new developments in Britney's ongoing legal battle surrounding her conservatorship, like getting her sister Jamie Lynn Spears involved, and Britney appointing a financial company as a co-conservator. In August, Britney requested to have Jamie removed from the case entirely, stating in court documents obtained by Us Weekly that she was strongly opposed to his return. And then most recently, last month, Variety reported that Britney was granted the ability to expand her legal team. Amidst all of this, Britney shared a video on Instagram trying to reassure fans that she's the happiest she's ever been, but many people didn't buy it. The post ended up causing even more concern that Britney is being controlled.
Hi, so I know that there have been a lot of comments and a lot of people saying a lot of different things about me, but I just want to let you guys know that I am fine. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, and I'm sending all of you guys a lot of prayers, wishes, and a lot of love.
And now, new developments reveal that Britney's bid to remove her father from her conservatorship has suffered a temporary setback. According to Variety, in a hearing on Tuesday, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Brenda Penny declined to suspend Jamie Spears from Britney's conservatorship, though she did not rule out future petitions for his removal or suspension. But that's not all that went down during Tuesday's hearing. Britney's lawyer, Samuel D. Ingham III, also blamed Britney's hiatus from the music industry on her father. He said, quote, "My client has informed me that she is afraid of her father. She also stated that she will not perform as long as her father is in charge of her career. We are really at a crossroads." And this is no surprise for fans who have been following this case closely. Britney, who has not released an album in more than 4 years, announced in January 2019 that she was going on an indefinite work hiatus. Many fans speculated that this could be because of her father's control of her conservatorship, and now we know these fans were unfortunately right on track with their thinking. According to Us Weekly, during the hearing, Britney's mum Lynn Spears' attorney, Gladstone Jones, also chimed in. She said, quote, "It has broken Lynn's heart to watch that this has come to this point. Lynn believes the time is now to start fresh, given the circumstances of Britney's request." Lynn's lawyer also claimed that when Lynn asked her ex-husband Jamie about Britney's healthcare last summer, Jamie compared Britney to, quote, "a racehorse who has to be handled like one." Amid all of this news, Britney Spears and Free Britney started trending on Twitter. And fans wrote things like, "Okay, this has gone on long enough. Britney deserves to be free. She can do what she wants." And "I am horrified. I can't quite comprehend that a middle-aged woman in 2020 has her life legally controlled by her father. Issues of mental, etc. aside, this is appalling." And today, Urban Outfitters also randomly revealed that they will be releasing an unreleased Britney Spears song exclusively on their site. People found this timing very suspicious, with one person writing, "So a new 4-year-old single from Britney is dropping today from Urban Outfitters. Confused? Yes. Will I buy? No, because I don't know where that money is really going. Will I listen and rip it for free? Yes, ma'am. Hashtag Free Britney." Another fan shared the new track's artwork, writing, quote, "Britney, I'm scared of my father and won't work until he's no longer in charge of my career. Her team." Whew, like I said, there is a lot to unpack here. But all in all, it's important to know that the judge did not rule out future petitions for his removal or suspension. Many fans have been tweeting that they will continue to fight for Britney, as this is just a temporary setback. And if you want more on Britney Spears and another concerning video she posted on social media, click right over here for another clever video. Then be sure to let me know all of your thoughts on these new developments in Britney's case in the comments section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on Instagram at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye, guys. Guys, it's Susan Morad right back here on Clevver News. And believe it or not, Taylor Swift managed to sneak a whole bunch of folklore Easter eggs into her new Capital One commercial, and it has fans completely shook. I'm starting to feel like Taylor Swift won't ever put out any piece of content, no matter how big or small, that doesn't have some sort of clue or hidden message for her fans. And not gonna lie, we love it. It's what makes being a Swiftie so fun. Taylor's latest Easter egg hunt comes in a pretty unexpected place. It's not a song or a music video or an Instagram post. This time, she hid a ton of folklore-related clues for fans in her most recent Capital One commercial. Now, Taylor's been doing commercials with Capital One for a while now. Last year, the banking company ran this commercial that featured Taylor's song Me from her Lover album. But with a new year came a new album, and it was time to update Taylor's Capital One partnership with a brand new commercial. The new Capital One commercial features Taylor's song Cardigan from her 2020 album Folklore. The main message of this commercial is that switching to Capital One is a an easy decision, just like Taylor's decision to put on a cardigan when it's a little cold outside.
It's looking kind of chilly out today. What am I gonna wear? I think I'll go with a cardigan.
And Taylor winked at the camera at the end of her line, which some fans may have just thought was a cute gesture. But diehard Swifties knew that was her cue. Swifties got straight to digging around this commercial, and in Taylor's 10 seconds on camera, there was a surprising amount of Easter eggs. Let's start with the shot of Taylor standing outside her closet. The shelves on each side are filled with decorations and random objects. After being a Taylor Swift fan for long enough, you know that no object placement is ever just random. So fans zoomed in on the shelves and they were not disappointed with what they found. Many of the items were references to lyrics or songs on her Folklore album. Let's start with the bottom right. There's a neon green dog which fans pointed out is a reference to the last great American Dynasty lyrics, "She stole his dog and dyed it key lime green." Then right next to the dog is a peace sign for her song Peace, and on the shelf above that is also a disco ball for her song Mirror Ball. Is your mind blown yet? Don't worry, we're just getting started. On the shelf above the mirror ball, fans noticed the trunk from the Cardigan music video, and above that, there's a jar full of pennies, which might just be a reference to her lyric, "Roaring 20s, tossing pennies in the pool," from the song The One. Next to those pennies are a couple of dice, which just so happen to add up to the number 8, which is the number of albums Taylor has released. Alright, now let's make our way to the other side of the closet for a second. Of course, Taylor's lucky number 13 makes an appearance on one of the shelves, and right next to that is her August slipped away hourglass, which was previously available on her merch store. Now let's talk about some of these photos, because there are a lot of picture frames on Taylor's shelves. Fans have been going nuts on Twitter about these pictures, wondering who is featured in each of them. Swifties are convinced that the picture above the big TS letters is of Taylor and her boyfriend Joe Alwyn, while two of the other photos on the shelves appear to be Taylor and her cats Benjamin and Meredith. Okay, we're finally done with the shelves. I told you that there was a lot for a 10-second clip, but of course Taylor didn't only hide clues on the shelves. Come on, you thought that was it? Taylor also wore an Easter egg right around her neck. If you zoom in on her necklace, you'll notice that Taylor is wearing a necklace that says Inez, which is the name of one of the 3 characters in her song Betty. Obviously, fans have had a lot to say about all of this on Twitter. Some think that Taylor wearing the Inez necklace is a sign that a music video for Betty may be coming soon. Others made the graphics of all the Easter eggs they found. And Capital One even got in on the fun, responding to a fan's theory with Taylor's lyric from her song Getaway Car, "Don't pretend it's such a mystery." Seriously, you guys, I never knew I could have so much fun watching a bank commercial. Leave it to Taylor. She is the only one who could send us fans down a full-blown Easter egg hunt in 10 seconds of a commercial. And if you want more on Taylor and all the Easter eggs on her Folklore album, click right over here for another Clevver video. Then be sure to let me know if you caught all these Easter eggs and if you caught any we didn't mention in the comment section below. I'm your host, Susan Morad. You can find me on Instagram at Susan_Morad. I'll catch you later. Bye guys.
I just feel like Kanye was in a place where he really didn't trust anyone with Kim. Kim and him are better without me, then let them be without me. I'm okay with that. Do I look like I'm suffering? Do I look like I'm in pain? I'm okay. I will survive. Was it hurtful? Yes. But do I have love from a lot of other places? Yes. Because he literally has brainwashed the whole family into thinking that, like, I don't even know what. But it's funny how people think I'm the most honest person in the world. Trust me, I would never lie about something like that. No, I knew him before Chloe even knew he existed.
Lori Loughlin's family is going through a tough time as she completes her 2-month prison sentence. We've got all the details in today's S Daily. On October 30th, the former Full House star reported to the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California, to start her sentence for her role in the college admissions scandal, with a source telling us that Lori is living a real-life nightmare. But she isn't the only one. A source tells us that her family, including daughters Isabella and Olivia Jade, are going through a difficult time. However, we hear that they are supporting each other and understand that mistakes were made, but that in order to move forward, they need to forgive. Lori and her husband, Massimo Gianoli, pleaded guilty to fraud in the college admissions scandal. She was sentenced to 2 months, while her husband was sentenced to 5.
The fact that I'm an empty nester now and I have this work to focus on, I'm not so what are they doing? Where are they? Worrying about them all the time. It is allowing me to give them the freedom to grow up and, make their own choice.
The pair were facing up to 60 years behind bars for mail fraud, money laundering, and bribery. They are accused of paying $500,000 to get their daughters into USC. We hear that Lori was dreading her prison stay, but she tried her best to be brave and look at the end result. But there was nothing that could dissipate her fears. She was a complete wreck. A source also tells us that Lori feels that something will go horribly wrong in prison or that her stay could be prolonged.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Emil Ennis Jr. back here with Clevver News, and Selena Gomez just scored the role of a lifetime as she set to star in a memoir-inspired film as the first gay woman to take on the highest mountains in the world. Is it just me, or does anyone else sense an Academy Award on Selena Gomez's horizon? As it was just announced that she's set to star as Peruvian mountaineer and social entrepreneur Sylvia Vasquez Lavado in an upcoming biopic. The film, which is based on Sylvia's upcoming memoir, In the Shadows of the Mountain, is based on Sylvia's life as she became the first Peruvian woman to scale Mount Everest and the first openly gay woman to complete the 7 summits, a challenge focused on scaling the highest mountains on each continent. Not only does Sylvia have some incredibly physically demanding accomplishments under her belt, but the film will also shed light on her work in the nonprofit industry after she founded Courageous Girls, which helps survivors of sexual abuse and trafficking. Her inspiration for the story is framed by her own life after being a victim of childhood assault and neglect, who found healing in mountaineering and would even organize treks for women to Mount Everest's base camp who were also victims of abuse. As for Selena, not only will she star in this once-in-a-lifetime role, but she is also set to produce the film through her July Moon Productions alongside Scott Butnick through his One Community banner and Academy Award winner Donna Gigliotti through her Tempesta Films company. Donna, who won a Best Picture Oscar for producing Shakespeare in Love and was nominated in that category for The Reader, Silver Linings Playbook, and Hidden Figures, gushed about the project saying, quote, "Sylvia is a force of nature. Scott and I are so excited to work with Elgin and Selena to tell this story of resilience, courage, adventure, and humanity." Sylvia will also have a creative say in the process as she is set to executive produce with Laura Love Harden of Idea Architects. She took to Instagram to share the news last night, sharing a side-by-side photo of herself and Selena, writing, quote, "I am so humbled and grateful to share this thrilling news, which has been in the works for the last 10 months, that an all-star team has optioned my upcoming memoir, In the Shadow of the Mountain, for a movie adaptation." She also added how honored she is that the bold, talented, and brilliant Selena Gomez is taking the starring role, as well as many other visionaries who will make this film come to life. Fans have been beaming with excitement after hearing the news, like this user who wrote, "Selena Gomez playing a gay character, I'm literally going to cry. I'm so happy about this." Another fan tweeted, "Seeing Selena Gomez play a gay person is going to awaken something in me. I already know it." However, Selena starring as a gay person while being known as a straight female has sparked some backlash among critics who don't believe she is right for this role for obvious reasons. One user tweeted, "Selena isn't gay. I wish they would give unknown LGBTQ actors a chance at playing such a defining role. I love Selena. I just wish this casting straight actors in LGBTQ roles phase would end." Love, Simon, Brokeback Mountain, and so many more good films using straight actors. And this person isn't exactly here for the storyline itself, writing, "Don't get me wrong, climbing Mount Everest is amazing, but being gay and Peruvian while doing it doesn't merit a movie. If she were physically handicapped, maybe it would merit a movie, but like, I don't want to watch Selena Gomez climb a mountain and say I'm gay at the peak or whatever." Regardless of your stance, it's no question that Sylvia has moved mountains, no pun intended, by her impact in helping victims of abuse, so it's no question as to why her many accomplishments should be celebrated. In the Shadow of the Mountains is expected to be published in 2022, and based on the year we've had, time is sure to fly by, so get excited now. But for all the details on the status of Selena's new HBO cooking show, you can click right over here for another Clevver video, and then let me know your thoughts on Selena's new movie role down in the comment section below. I'm your host, Emil Ennis Jr. You can find me on Instagram at Emil Ennis Jr., and I'll see you soon right back here on Clevver News. Bye guys.